I'm in Bryant, so I'll address that at another time.
Wait, so have you been sleeping on a broken bed?
No, I broke my bed at home, but we're living in
Oh.
Bryant right now for camp, so might have a mattress on the floor for a little bit.
Since we're kind of referencing it, did you watch the first episode at all of the show? What's the talk around?
We were practicing and in meetings and stuff when it came out, so I got a couple texts from people and that type of thing, and hey, I saw you on this, but I haven't watched it.
What is the talk around the team? I mean, obviously the cameras are around, all day. Forget about them. What's that like right now?
We don't really, we're not that focused on it, you know what I mean? And I think they probably like it that way because we're not actors, we're, college football players, and they're trying to give like the, behind the scenes look or whatever. So, we're not that focused on it. It doesn't really affect us day to day.
Think more people are recognizing you now, though?
Probably not, to be honest with you.
Do you worry about getting caught on camera saying or doing something you wouldn't want somebody outside of the team seeing?
Obviously, when it's like sensitive matters and stuff like that, you're conscious of it. But there's not a whole lot of that goes on. So.
How often do you match up with Quinn Williams in practice this year or last year? Or is he more inside?
It depends on, our defense has a lot of different looks and they line up in different ways. So I go against him sometimes when he's outside, sometimes he's inside. So it's kind of a mixed bag.
How much progress has he made over the last year or so?
He's a great player. He's really technical, really sound. He has great fundamentals, good hand usage, all that stuff. So he's definitely a challenge.
He talked about learning from Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne. Can you tell he picked anything up from either of those guys? Or?
Definitely. I think that he, John was obviously a technician.
Yeah.
And I think that he definitely, took some of that as far as hand fighting and hand usage and stuff like that goes. He's always in good position and stuff like that. He doesn't give his chest, so it's difficult to block.
Defense did well in the scrimmage, obviously, and offense struggled, so I'm sure you guys had moments, but that's kind of normal, right, for a first scrimmage, and it should develop as you go, do you think?
I wouldn't go as far as to say that. I think that both units had good days. I think that that's kind of what you want to see out of a balanced team is, you kind of want to have the offense making plays and the defense making plays, and I would say that it was a good combination of both.
How about the line specifically, though? How'd you guys do?
I think we did well. It's the first scrimmage. We're, less than 10 days into camp, so I think that obviously there's a lot to clean up. And so we watched the film, and I think that, at least for me, and I know a lot of other guys do this too, I put down, I write down in my notebook emphasis for the day. I usually put down 3 things, and then I'll take away some things from the scrimmage and say, well, maybe I did 1 or 2 of those things well, but now I have 3 more things, to improve on, and I have to keep improving on the one thing that I didn't improve on in the scrimmage, that type of thing. So I think that that's kind of the way you have to look at it, especially in camp. You can't look at a big picture and say, did the O-line do well? You know what I mean? You have to look at it as each individual guy has X, Y, and Z to work on, going forward into the walkthrough we did this morning, the practice tonight, the practice tomorrow, you know what I mean? There's a lot between now, the scrimmage, and then the actual season starting. So.
Okay, but in terms of how the offensive line is gelling, are you already seeing a difference, say, from the spring?
I think so. I think guys are getting more comfortable. Generally, when you take more snaps and more plays and stuff like that, going against, the same guys, and you start to recognize looks and you start to kind of be able to kind of know what's going to happen before it happens. And so I think that we're definitely improving in that category.
What's your current 3 that you're working on? 3 things.
Keep my shoulders square and pass pro after 3 sets. It's kind of your right foot starts to turn outside when your shoulders start to turn, so keeping that forward. Left hand inside on the front side, outside zone, man blocks, stuff like that. I try to be very specific with it, because if I just go in there saying, like, I just want to create movement, you know what I mean? Then it's like you're going to go out there and you're going to try to hit a guy way hard, and he's going to get his hands in your chest and you get blown back. So it's not how it works.
Is there a point in camp where you set a goal, like I want to feel like I'm ready for the season at this point, or you just try to kind of, again, improve each day?
I think so, and I mean, I think a lot of, good players look at it this way, but I'm not thinking about that. But I'm not even thinking about I want to have a great practice. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about I want to feel confident when I look at my guy and I know my assignment that I can execute that assignment. You know what I mean? And I want to feel confident that my first step out of my stance is a positive step that I feel balanced and comfortable in. So I just think you can get really overwhelmed and you can really kind of lose sight of what you need to do when you start saying, like, I'm ready to play right now. You know what I mean? Or I'm not ready to play right now. I mean, I just don't want to look at it as, when we have a third down tonight, in practice, I don't want to think of that any different than we have a third down in some game down the road. I want it to feel the same. So that's kind of my goal.
Coach Key seems interested in sometimes moving tackles into interior spots. Why do you think that is? Like, is there something that you've been able to gather from his coaching background that suggests that why he would be interested in doing that?
I think generally it's kind of this way across the board, and no offense to interior guys, but a lot of times tackles are more athletic players, a little bit quicker, and sometimes it's beneficial to have that on the inside as well. You don't see a lot of interior guys moving out. You kind of see it going in the other direction. But I mean, I don't know if there's any philosophy about that. I think the way that we look at it is we want the 5 best guys, however it unfolds, and we want guys to be comfortable with the positions that they're at. So, I mean, I don't think that he has some overarching kind of philosophy about it. I think that he wants to put the 5 best out there, and, if we have 7 tackles that can play, we're probably going to have 5 tackles that are, you know what I mean? So that's kind of how I look at it.
Where have you seen Deontay Brown make some of the greatest strides? I understand he got some work with that group in the scrimmage.
Mm-hmm. He's gotten his weight down a lot. Really proud of him about that. And he's a guy who's he's got elite body quickness, and even when he was way heavier than he should be, he was still moving quick out there. And so now that he's kind of at a better weight, he's playing with elite power and quickness and that type of thing. Obviously, like the rest of us, he's got work to do, but I think he's got a good mindset, and he's been performing really well.
Would you ever want to go play guard or center or give that a shot?
Obviously can't answer that question, but I'm very comfortable with where I'm at right now.